What's up, guys? I'm out here standing outside Gold Star Financial. I'll show you outside of the office right here. Many of you guys have asked over the last couple weeks about the down payment assistance program that's been broadcast all over the internet. And I figured the best way to go about it was to just show up to Gold Star and get all the questions answered from the expert himself, Brian Eller. So I'm actually going to take you to a tour inside the place real quick, and we'll sit down and have a little question and answer in regards to all down payment assistance questions. Hold on one second. This is the inside of the office right here. As you can see, Gold Star. We're going to walk over to the conference room. Everybody say hello to Becca.
Hi.
Doug. Hello. And there's Brian Eller.
What's up, guys?
He's considered probably the expert on the down payment assistance program right now. Obviously, you know, we're still trying to figure out a lot of things. There's a lot of different quirks that are different from other state programs that are out there. VHDA, US Bank had another one that ended up going kaput. But what we're going to do is sit down and have a quick little question and answer with all the common questions that are out there. People that have down payment needs, and or already have money for a down payment or just looking to save some money. There's a way to do it, and there's a way to do it without having to pay a dime out of your pocket. So we're going to jump right into that. Becca, you want to go ahead and get us set up? All right, so Brian, I think one of the things that many people are thinking, at least I was pretty skeptical myself, was that it seems too good to be true, right? I mean, you run a lot of Facebook ads, people see them. I think one of your videos got like 90,000 views. Yep. And it's like, all right, free money, what's the catch? So can we kind of iron out, you know, the details of what's behind this down payment assistance program?
Yeah. All right. So basically, you know, the way that the program works is we get you pre-approved for a normal FHA loan. Okay. And FHA requires a 3.5% down payment. And then what we do is we attach a second mortgage to the first mortgage for that 3.5% down payment. All right. But the reason that everybody's coming here to us is because our second mortgage, okay, once you live in the property and make 36 consecutive on-time payments, that second mortgage actually falls off and you don't even got to repay the money. So essentially you end up getting free money for your down payment.
Okay, so the free money comes into play then. So technically you do have to repay it unless you stay and make 36 consecutive payments on time, and then it falls off.
Okay, so let me explain that a little better. So basically, if you want to sell or refinance your house before you make 36 on-time payments, you can do that. It's just whatever that down payment money was, it's going to be added to the payoff on your first mortgage. So if it was, you know, we gave you $10,000 for your down payment and you owed $200 on your first mortgage, well then you're going to end up owing $210,000.
Got it. Okay. So now I know that there is another interesting dynamic to this down payment assistance program. So for many of you out there, and by the way, since we are on a live feed, any questions that you guys have, I mean, this is honestly for those out there that are looking to buy and don't have money for a down payment or looking for an alternative, any questions that you guys have, please write them in the comments section. So even if we can't get to them today, you know, we can do a follow-up video with more answers. But most state-funded programs, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, have income restrictions where you can't make over a certain amount of money or it disqualifies you. And or they have debt-to-income ratio restrictions where if you have too much debt, then you can't buy a home through that program.
That is
what for the no money, basically free money, where basically if they make 36 consecutive payments on time, what is the max income that a household can make or a person can make?
Okay, well, number one of the best things about this particular program is that it's not based off a household income, okay? It's off a qualifying income. So it's just whoever's going to be going on the loan, that's the only income that we're going to count to get you qualified. If you make less than the median income for the particular county that you're buying the house in, so for example, here in Prince William County, that number is $625,500. If you make No, excuse me. For the income, I'm sorry, is 125,580. Okay, so if you make less than $125,580 a year, then you can get what's considered a soft second, which will fall off after you make 36 consecutive on-time payments. Now, because this program allows you to go up to the county loan limit, which is $625,500, if you make more than $125,580 for the year, then we can still get you 100% financing. Okay. The only difference is that second will now be an amortized second, because they think that you make enough money that you should be able to pay both loans back.
Got it. But it's 0% interest for 10 years, that second. So essentially it is, in a way, still kind of free money, right?
Yeah,
so
you're not paying any interest on it.
Yeah, where I think that would really be a big benefit or a perk to somebody buying, especially in the higher price range, right, would be somebody that doesn't necessarily want to liquidate all of their money, right? They don't want to spend 3.5% down to go into the loan and then have no money for a reserve account or have no money for furniture. They can, buy this big house but then not be able to furnish it. So regular, basically state-funded programs don't offer that at all.
No, they don't. And I think, what a lot of people are doing, to be honest with you, Ryan, is they're coming to me to get the down payment assistance program to get into the house so that they don't have to use the capital out of their own pocket, right? So they can keep that in their savings account. They're staying in the property for the 3 years, making the 36 consecutive on-time payments. And then after that, they're coming back to me to refinance. Hopefully at that point, maybe even put them into a conventional loan that doesn't have any monthly mortgage insurance or anything like that, and get rid of the PMI altogether. Maybe even get a lower rate, who knows, depending on what the rates are at that point in time. And that way they took advantage of getting the free money to get into the house. They didn't spend any money out of their pocket, and now we're converting them to a conventional loan, and they're set for pretty much as long as they're going to be there.
Okay, so I know one of the biggest perks that I thought of was that you don't have to be a first-time home buyer to qualify for this loan. Is that accurate?
That is very accurate. Yeah, that's what makes our program so well. There's a lot of points that make it, I think, the best program that's out there on the market right now. But yeah, you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. It's just anyone that's looking to buy a primary residence. You can even own other properties as well. Okay. And then obviously you'll need to call me so I can run those scenarios by you as to what we're going to do with that particular property, whether we're going to rent it out or you want to sell it and get into your new place. I can go over all that with you because everybody's situation is a little different, but yeah, you can. Okay, so you don't have to be a first-time.
You don't have to be a first-time home buyer, and so for those out there, I know we have a lot of people tuning in from different areas. What states does this program work with?
Okay, so I'm currently licensed in Virginia, Maryland, and Florida. Okay. And I can do this program in all 3 of those states.
Okay, so all 3 of those states.
No particular. It's not like only certain counties are eligible. It's actually statewide in Virginia, Maryland, and Florida.
Okay, so that's good. Yeah. So those in the DC metro area, obviously, it hits Maryland and Virginia, so it's a good amount of area that's covered there. So what is the minimum credit score that somebody could qualify for this loan, and then we'll go into some of the other further restrictions from there.
Yeah. All right. So if you had your own money for your down payment, I can go as low as a 600 credit score. Okay. But since we're talking about down payment assistance, if you want to take advantage of the free money and get some down payment assistance, you need at least a 620 credit score.
Okay, 620
to qualify.
Okay.
Yep.
Now I know many people are they're automatically gonna jump in. I have a 620, but I had a short sale. Yeah. Right? I had a short sale, a foreclosure, I had a bankruptcy. So let's cover the period of time that they have to be out of each of those in order for them to then be qualified.
So it's run off of normal FHA guidelines. So basically if you had a bankruptcy, it's going to be 2 years from your discharge date. Okay. Short sale and foreclosures, I believe those are 2 years right now as well. Okay. So 2 years from the foreclosure sales date. Okay. And then we could get you pre-approved for it. So,
with some of the other state-funded programs, VHDA in particular, there's debt-to-income restrictions, which basically you're not going over a 45% back ratio, which means that your housing debt and all of your other debts can't be any more than about 45% of your total gross income. There is a little bit more leeway with this program, correct?
There is, yeah. I mean, with this program, you can go all the way up to what is called a DU. It's an automated underwriter that all loans it's a computer program that all loans have to be run through first to make sure that you get an approval automated first. And so lately we've been doing them all the way up to 55, 57.
Depending upon compensating factors.
Yep, back in debt to income ratios, which basically what that means for the consumer is that with our program, you're going to be able to buy more of a house than with these other programs like VHDA. The window is so small. You need a higher credit score. You can't buy as much of a property, so the window's tighter. With ours, the guidelines are looser, so you're just able to get in easier and you're able to buy more.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely one of the big things for buyers out there. They see a house that's maybe $200,000. They might qualify for VHDA $200,000. They might qualify for this program up to maybe $250,000.
Yeah, that's
and
what I mean.
It's not to say we don't want people to stretch their budgets, right? Like that's not the idea here. But the idea is to give them a little bit more freedom, so that they have more options as to what's out there. I mean, obviously in the DC metro area, there's not much available under $200,000. Right?
You're right. So that extra $50,000 might get you an extra bedroom that you needed. You know what I mean? Or just a little bit better of a house or a better neighborhood.
So I know that basically FHA requires a 3.5% down payment, and this down payment assistance program covers that 3.5%.
Correct.
I know many of my clients have asked me, okay, so I get it, there's the free money, but what out-of-pocket expenses are there? There has to be something. You have home inspections, appraisals. So what is necessary to be able to engage in a contract? And I can kind of give my 2 cents on the real estate side. But
all right. So basically, the way that it works, the way that people hope that it works is that we are going to get our program to cover the 3.5% down payment, okay? Then you're going to use your negotiating skills, if you're representing them as the realtor, to get the seller to pay for their closing costs.
Or get as much as we can. Right?
Yeah, to get as much as you can. But, typically if you're getting 3.5% seller concessions, that's probably going to cover all the closing costs.
Okay.
My program is going to cover the down payment. And then all that the borrower is going to pay for out of their pocket, literally, on my side anyway, as the lender, is just going to be for the appraisal, which runs about $525 out of your pocket. And then a home inspection is optional. That's something that's normally done on the real estate side. Yep. So if you want to get a home inspection, right? Yeah, the earnest money deposit. But if we get the whole 3.5% seller concessions, then we should be able to give you your earnest money deposit back at closing.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So I know that I recently just had a transaction, and I think that this is a good case study because a year ago, these clients tried to apply for basically the same type of VHDA loan to be able to get a down payment assistance program, and they were denied. Well, about a year later, we now then put them into this program, and they're now qualified, mainly because there was a little bit more leniency on debt to income, ratios, which allowed them to be able to do that. So I think for a lot of people out there that are saying, my credit score is not where it needs to be, or I just don't have enough established credit, I don't have the income. Don't rule yourself out, because FHA guidelines are pretty lenient on certain things, and it may be worth at least reaching out and calling to figure out what you can and can't do.
Yeah, I would definitely do that because, for example, which we've done with a lot of people lately is, they call in, they think they're around a 620 credit score. I end up pulling their credit, and they're at like a 600, let's say. But they need the down payment assistance. So what we do, we have a rapid rescore program here where I can actually take your credit report, run it through what they call a what if simulator. It'll basically say, well, if this particular borrower goes and pays this card's balance down to here, and this card's balance down to here, and you actually go and do that and give me updated statements showing your new balance, then I can actually send it in, rapid rescore your credit, get it updated in less than 48 hours, and then pre-approve you off of the new credit report that I just boosted your score with.
Got it.
To get you pre-approved.
Okay, so at the end of the day, it's essentially, there's a lot of people that probably think that they don't have a chance to own a home. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
I think it's, especially for me, part of Make Impact Real Estate, it's about trying to make an impact on a community, being able to do good and give back, and I think that this is a great way to do it with this program. Mainly because it's people that maybe never would have a chance to buy a home.
Yeah, honestly, we've been helping so many people lately and getting them into houses $525 out of their pocket only.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first put out my first video, you know, I was getting a lot of hits like, you know, is it too good to be true? You know, what's the catch? But there isn't one. And that's the best thing. I've been in this business for a long time, and I've never ever seen a program like this ever. That meaning like where you really are going to get the down payment assistance. The down payment money is going to fall off after 3 years. You don't even got to pay it back. We get the closing costs covered from the seller, and they're in. It's, to me, you know, you need to jump on it while you can, just because you don't know how long these programs will be around. But right now, it's hot. I've got it. I'm doing it daily. We have tons of them in processing right now. So come and get it while it's here. I mean, why wait and lose out?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So a lot of people are going to be like, well, is that money going to run out? Is it going to disappear? And I think what you're saying is that we don't know what the future holds, right? Like it's here today, but it could be gone. But for as long as it's here, take advantage of it, right? I mean, I think that's the most important thing is that, you know, that people, at least as of today, have the ability to do that, and it allows for a lot more people to be able to take advantage of home ownership.
So I have a couple, you know, just bullet points that I kind of want to throw out there too that make the program special as well. Well, number one, this particular program, the loan amount can go all the way up to the county loan limit. I think I was saying this a little bit.
625.
625, 500 here in Prince William County. That's steep. I mean, that's a nice size house. You know,
we're talking a $20,000 plus
down payment given to you. You know, condos. A lot of people call me about condos. Condos are okay as long as they're FHA approved.
Okay.
You know, being able to go down to 620 minimum score. Really, no debt to income ratio caps and no income restrictions. That's a huge thing. You know, I just can't say enough about the program, honestly, because it does sound too good to be true, but it's not.
There is one other, we talk about self-employed borrowers versus W-2 borrowers, and this is one other huge perk for this program is that they do allow people that have W-2s to do a W-2 only program where they don't also have to use their self-employed income if they have W-2s. Is that correct?
That is huge, Ryan. Okay, so basically what he's hinting at is that, you know, to get pre-approved for a mortgage, a normal mortgage, we used to have to collect 2 years worth of W-2s and 2 years worth of tax returns. Well, what would happen would be, you know, a lot of borrowers at the end of the year would go into their accountant's office, and their accountant, because they're trying to not make them have to pay so much in taxes or maybe get them a bigger refund, would put on their unreimbursed business expenses of 20 grand. Well, the borrower didn't know no better. He was trying to get a bigger refund, but little did he know it was hurting his purchasing power. And so basically, maybe he did make 50 grand a year, but after his accountant wrote off 20 grand in unreimbursed business expenses, we as a mortgage company could only qualify him as if he only made 30 grand a year. Well, now with this program and with some of the other programs that we have, we don't have to show the tax returns no more. So that doesn't count. All we have to show is your 2015 and 2014 W-2, along with, you know, your pay stubs, driver's license, and bank statements. And I can get you pre-approved off your whole income versus having to take that hit for the unreimbursed.
Yeah, and I can say from my personal experience, that's happened more times than not where somebody's qualifying power gets cut in half.
Yeah.
Just because of that type of scenario. We do have a lot of business owners in Northern Virginia that do have the need, and, you know, they're paying themselves a W-2, but they also own a business and they have a profit and loss coming there. So that is a very helpful thing.
Now I don't want you guys to get that mixed up. If you are self-employed,
you're still using tax
you still have to show 2 years of tax returns.
Right.
Okay. But if you're a W-2 employee, then we only have to use your 2015 and your 2014 W-2s, and we don't have to show those tax returns anymore.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that you didn't have to file.
Right.
You did have to file.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I mean, so let's kind of recap here, and I have some notes in front of me. So we got no first-time home buyer requirement, available in Virginia, Maryland, and Florida.
Correct.
620 minimum credit score. Program covers 3.5 of the sales price, which is FHA requires that amount for a down payment, so it's covering that. If they make under 125,000, what was the
125,580.
125,580, and they make 36 consecutive one-time payments,
Mm-hmm.
then essentially after that period of time, that soft second falls off,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically like free equity.
That is true. And just so that you know, we set it up with a first mortgage, okay, your normal FHA mortgage. We attach a second mortgage to it for that down payment, okay, that down payment money. But yes, it falls off after 36 payments, but the whole first 3 years, or actually the whole time you have it, it doesn't have an interest rate or a monthly payment either.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you're not like you're paying 2 monthly payments here.
Yeah.
It's just you're still just paying your first, FHA regular monthly payment, and that second is literally just floating there, waiting for you to pay 36
It's like a
payments so
silent
it can
second.
follow. That's exactly what it is.
Okay, so then-
no monthly payment on that second mortgage.
And if they make over the 125,000,
Mm-hmm.
then it's going to be a situation where they can still get the money, but
Yep.
it's going to be termed at 0% for 10 years. You said.
For 10 years. That
Well,
is
actually, there was
correct.
a couple different options they could
There
choose, but
was.
that's probably the best one.
Yep,
Since
yep.
there's zero interest tied. to
Yeah,
it.
you can do 0 interest for 10 years. You can do, 15 years at 3% interest, 20 years at 4% interest, or 30 years at a 5% interest rate.
Okay.
So you
that-
can pick your terms for that second.
Okay. So, and we can go up to the county loan limit wherever that may be in Virginia, Maryland, Florida.
Yep.
Available for purchase of primary residence only.
Yep.
Right? And then obviously some more lenient debt to income restrictions. So all in all, I think that this is a great program for somebody. Now it may not be for everybody. You're still going to do some calculations, I would imagine. Like
Yeah.
the rates are probably a little bit higher, I would imagine, on this. type of loan.
They're just a little higher, not by much. So when you call in, we can actually run both scenarios for you. We can say, hey, if you don't want to come out of your pocket
Mm-hmm.
with any money, this is your rate and payment here
Mm-hmm.
with the free money for your down payment. Or if you want to bring your own money to
Standard
the
FHA
table,
loan.
standard FHA loan, then here's your rate and your payment. Maybe it's a $30 to $40 difference. So if that weighs on you monthly, maybe you want to put your own money down. If it doesn't, maybe you want to take the free money and keep your capital in your pocket.
Okay, so I think, probably the best place, I know that many people have thought that this is too good to be true. We've obviously kind of dispelled that myth. You do have a Facebook page.
Yeah, I mean, literally, scroll down on my Facebook page. You're going to see social proof, testimonials, type in hashtag Eller Reviews. Tons of my closings will come up. Obviously, not all of them because I can't get to everyone to take a picture, but you'll see tons of them on there.
We'll add those
Ask
to the comments.
around, call me, ask about me.
We
Whatever
can
you want.
add those to the comments, the links for the Facebook page as well as the reviews and things of that nature. And I think part of this too is that there is a team required here to execute this, right? It's you get the
Yeah.
loan, but you also have to have a real estate agent, a seasoned agent that understands how this program works. Because it's not simple enough to just say, "Hey, I'm pre-approved for this money," and not
No, 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 no,
understanding that there are still costs associated. And you need to be able to work hand in hand with the lender, and that's kind of what you and I have done, Brian, over these other transactions that we've had through the down payment assistance. Is okay. What are the necessary funds that they need? What do we need to try to get from the seller? Does that always mean we're going to get it? No, but they can make an educated decision going in, and then we can try to execute that.
Yeah, I mean, guys, we've been literally, me and Ryan have been teaming up for many years now, and I mean, we get it done. I mean, we'll get you the financing, and he'll find you the house and do the negotiating to make sure we get all the costs covered. Worst case scenario, you find a seller that is playing hardball and doesn't want to cover your closing costs, then we move on and find you another house.
Yeah.
Where we find somebody that does.
I think.
And there's a lot of those that go around.
Yeah, and I think it's just having options, right?
Yeah.
At the end, in this market right now, at least from the real estate perspective, I'm seeing that the higher price range is slowing down quite a bit. The lower price range, under 300, still moving pretty good, but still on certain types of properties. So I think, even I'll even plug you for other real estate agents out there, because I mean, this is literally a game changer for many people that have been sitting on the fence for 2 or 3 years. And it may not be here forever, like we said, but while it's here, let's take advantage of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have hundreds of real estate, realtor partners that I do this with, and I think right now, we all probably are at the top of our game. I mean, we probably have, the most amount of business that we've all ever had in our life right now. The market's hot, especially when you got a program like this. I mean, you can't lose, really.
So if they want to get in touch with you, Brian, obviously, because I came as kind of like a little public service announcement, because I've been getting questions, and I figured this was a a good platform to go ahead and get a lot of those questions answered. So if you guys do have questions, you can continue to write those in the comments section here on Facebook.
Yeah,
but also,
we'll answer it.
I want to go ahead and put your phone number out there if you want.
Yeah. You can reach me directly at 703-856-4412. That's my personal cell phone number. It'll come right to me. I have a team that works behind me.
Back up behind the camera over there.
Yep, that's one of our employees here, and so it's not just going to be me that you're dealing with directly, but you'll have a good team, supporting you throughout the whole transaction.
That sounds great. I obviously this was our first kind of like a trial here on Facebook Live too, so I hope everybody.
Yeah, I think we'll do a lot more of these. We'll answer other topics. You know what I mean?
Sounds good. Well, thanks, Brian. I appreciate all the info. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Till next time.
Give us a call.